Alright gamers, I am here with the initial setup for the Onslaught mode of Hoplomachus Remastered. I thought I would play a little bit of Onslaught mode to kind of show it off, and then I'll do another video that has Ascension mode to show you how the Titans work. So basically I'm planning to play for a bit, get past at least one Immortal, and we'll kind of see where I feel like this video has a natural stopping point. But for now, we're just going to talk about the setup. So for Onslaught mode, you start on the possibly arena side, and you pick a faction. So I chose to do the Atlanteans this time. So their chips have the faction name on the back, a unit on the other side. These are their tactics. So that's a tactics symbol on the back of these chips. And then of course I've got our hero over here, and she is currently going to be inactive on this side, but I'll show you how to activate her during combat. Like all of the factions, the Atlanteans have a few different options. So we have a strategist who's basically a tactician. We've got Laquarius, which will be a defender. We've got the warriors, who are attackers, marksmen, who are archers, and then a beast and beast master combo. And these are pretty cool. So this used to be an expansion in old Hoplo, but in Remastered, these guys are kind of integrated into each of the factions, and I think that's really neat. So we've got our guys set up. We've also got the Immortals ready to go. So I've basically shuffled the Immortal chips and put them in a pile over here. Basically, we're gonna go into Onslaught mode, which means that we are going to fight these Immortals in waves. You just see how many of them you can beat. I have never beat all 6 Immortals. I feel pretty good after I get like 3 of them. I don't really know how good other people are at this, but you know, that's never mattered to me. I'm having a good time. And then in this bag, we've got some arena chips. So they'll just be chips that say arena on the back. They are white. And these are a mixture of beasts and brigands and ruffians and other just sort of enemies that we're gonna have to deal with as we try to deal with the Immortal. So these will all go in the draw bag because they're gonna get randomly drawn. Ooh, I like that chip sound. We've also got our crowd favor started. So basically I've put the bead below the start of the crowd favor track, and this is going to be a really crucial part of gameplay. So we're going to talk about that as we go, and also probably just in a moment once I finish setup. And then you're supposed to create a supply of health chips, but I just take the health chip tray and put it over there, because that counts as creating a supply of me. We done it. All right, so basically with that, we are ready to play. I want to talk us through kind of exactly what we're doing first. So here are our deployment hexes. We're red. The enemies are blue, so they've got the blue side. And there is one more thing that I need to do for setup. I need to choose a neutral hero and put them here as my crowd favor hero. So there used to be a crowd favor gladiator in the original Hoplo, but now you get a hero. These dudes are all pretty cool. Spiculus has a lot of dice, which I really like, and I like the retaliate in the regen, so maybe him. But we've got Rostam, who also has some very nice dice and some good abilities. Like Long Shot 3 is pretty good because a lot of these heroes don't have range on them, so that's pretty cool. And then I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name, but he's got great dice. He's got Perfect Strike, First Strike, and Tactical, which are all innate abilities that are quite good. I'm gonna go with Spiculus though. Standard Roman works for me. So I'm going to put our boy Spiculus up here to potentially get, if I make it all the way with the crowd favor track at some point. And these dudes go back to the tray. So basically the way this is going to work is we're going to have a turn structure where the Immortal goes, we go, and then the arena goes. And I'm going to walk you very clearly through each of the steps of those turns so that you can get a sense of how that actually looks in action. But our goal, again, is to defeat as many Immortals as possible, wave after wave. So I want to make sure I play through at least one wave and then show you the setup for wave 2 so you can kind of get started on your own. But for this wave, what we're going to have to focus on is a combination of getting crowd favor and taking HP off of the Immortal. What's very interesting is that you used to just kind of get crowd favor all the time in Hoplo for just defeating stuff, and that's true in some of the game modes. But in Onslaught mode, you can only get crowd favor by damaging the Immortal, but when you do that, the Immortal doesn't actually lose any HP. You have to do something different to actually kill the Immortal. So to take HP off of the Immortal, you have to be occupying one of these spots at the start of your turn, or you have to defeat arena units, and those are the things that you can do to take HP off of an Immortal. So you defeat their allies to remove 1 HP, or you're standing on one of these stones at the start of the turn to remove HP. And you can take off 2 if you're standing on both stones, which is pretty cool. But what makes that difficult is that you have to go whale on the Immortal to get up the crowd favor track. That also means you have to get up close to an enemy that you can't just kill that way. So you're going to have to sacrifice some of your units in order to make that work. All in all, it's a very interesting situation. There are also some unit limits. We can only have 3 units in at a time. And that's also true for the Immortals in combination with the Arena. So you can have an Immortal and 2 Arena units out at any given time, but no more than that. So there's like a 3-on-3 element to this fight. And we also do know the priority list for the AI, but we're going to discuss that as part of our battle. So let's go ahead and reveal who our first Immortal is going to be. Ooh, it is Realmstalker. Realmstalker is an adorable yet dangerous panther who is going to try to eat our face right now. So Realmstalker has a couple of abilities. One is Combat Lock and the other is Beastmaster. So if you ever want to know more about an ability, Chip Theory has a lovely sheet here to tell us. So let's just check. Combat Lock. Opponents that are adjacent to this unit at the start of their turn cannot move during the movement step that turn. So Realmstalker can kind of get you stuck in place and trap you in order to just keep killing you. And because you can't just take damage off of Realmstalker the normal way, that means that you can get trapped with an Immortal that you can't actually damage. Woohoo! And then we got Beastmaster. Beast allied with this unit, ignore their roaming skill. So if you have played Hoplomachus Lost Cities, basically beasts used to always just roam, and beasts without a Beastmaster in Remastered will do that as well. So roaming basically means they roll a die and they move in an unknown direction until they're combat locked with someone, and they don't necessarily move directly towards the arena priority. So Realmstalker is going to keep everybody on task, and that's actually scary. So Realmstalker is going to start with 6 HP. Let's give it to him. We're going to use these blue chips because those are enemy health colors. So Realmstalker is going to just be in his camp for now, but we're going to deploy him basically imminently. So we've got our first Immortal, we know what we're up against, and we're just gonna see how this goes. Could be bad, could be great, we'll find out. The other thing is that the AI for the Immortals is controlled off of this sheet. So there's 3 on one side, 3 on the other. These are Realmstalker's dice that he's gonna roll every turn after he stops being dazed after his deployment. So we're gonna talk through these on Realmstalker's first real turn, but be assured this is gonna be some dangerous business. Let's go ahead and begin play, shall we? So the way this is going to work is we're going to start with the Immortal turn. So the first thing the Immortal is going to do is deploy. So let's say that Realmstalker is just going to start here. That would be fine. I'm sure that Realmstalker would probably like to be a little more aggressive, but I wouldn't. So there we go. All right, so Realmstalker is on the mat, but he's not going to do anything else this turn because he's deployed now. And now he's going to be dazed. So next time we're going to see him move, use his abilities, engage, but he's not going to do any of those things just yet because he's got to undaze himself first. We're going to be a similar situation. So on a player's turn, the first thing you do is check the stone hexes, but no one's there because nobody's out yet. Then we're going to do deployment. So let's go ahead and deploy. And who do we want to deploy? I'd like somebody fleet of foot, if at all possible, because we need to get our butts on here so we can do some damage. I think I'm going to go ahead and put my strategist out. So it's risky because I like having a tactician, but they have tactical and inspire. So let's give him his health first, his health of 2. We're going to put him here, and then I'm going to explain why I did that. So the first things that we have are, we've got tactical. So if you look on the sheet, tactical means that this unit can move during the turn that it is deployed. Also, this unit's troop can play tactics on non-adjacent opponents, not including elite units. So basically that means that this unit has the ability to get its butt over there to that stone in the middle of the arena on this turn, which is why I deployed him now. But they can also let you play tactics on opponents that aren't adjacent to you. And, you know, as we get to future tactical steps, that will make a lot of sense as well. So we've got our strategist out. Normally, the strategist would not be able to move because she just deployed, and that is something that she shouldn't be able to do, except that she's tactical. So let's just take a quick moment for chip anatomy here. That little green arrow at the top with a 3 in it is her movement. This 1 is her range, and this 2 down here is her health. So I know that my strategist can move 3, and she can also move right away. So the reason I deployed her now is so I can go 1, 2, 3. So our strategist has gotten And actually, even smarter, let's do this. Let's deploy her here. So we can go 1, 2, 3. That way she's a little bit further away from Realmstalker. Because once Realmstalker locks her in place, she's only got 2 HP, she's going to die. So I need to keep her here for as long as I can in an attempt to hold this stone and maybe get some other units in around her to deal with Realmstalker. So that's my goal for right now. Now it's going to be the arena's turn. So what's going to happen is we're going to deploy an arena unit. We can only have 2 out, but we don't have any. So we're going to pull one from the bag, see what we get. All right, so we have pulled a lion. That's kind of scary. Lions are scary. So this one has perfect strike, combat lock, and roaming, and also 4 health. So let's get this baby his 4 health, and we will talk about what he can do. I'm going to assume that he's going to come here as close as possible to my strategist, because even though I'd like to put him somewhere else, let's be realistic, that's what an opponent would really do. So there you go. So the lion has perfect strike. Perfect strike means that when attacking, if this unit rolls hits on all of its attack dice, it doubles the total damage dealt by the attack. Combat lock is basically something we've already seen with Realmstalker. This lion is going to be able to lock me in once it gets next to me and I can't move away. And then roaming means that without this lovely Beastmaster, then the lion would not actually directly move towards my strategist. Instead, we'd roll a die and see where the lion went. But because Realmstalker has the Beastmaster ability, the lion will instead follow the arena's priorities, which we're about to talk about because we're about to have a real attack. So in Onslaught mode, opponent on a stone hex is the first target, followed by a hero, followed by the strongest opponent, and that basically means the opponent with the most HP. So basically, we have a little list of priorities that we know our AI is going to follow, and we have to go with that. So now we've looped all the way back around already, and it is the Immortal's turn. So Realmstalker has a movement of 2, and its priority is going to be somebody on a hex. So Realmstalker is going to come 1, 2, this way. And even though Realmstalker can't actually attack us because it only has a range of 1, we are still going to roll Realmstalker's dice. So Realmstalker rolls 1 blue, 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 yellow. And depending on the hits I get on these dice, we're going to have to follow certain instructions for Realmstalker that I'm about to show you. So first, let's roll them. Okay. So I don't think anything's going to happen this turn because these 2 dice are blank. So basically, what's going to happen here is that on these dice, if Realmstalker was close enough to actually attack, these dice would determine its attack success and how much damage it did. So it would have done 1, but it's not actually next to me at this time, so we're cool. However, the other thing is that if you roll this die, Realmstalker deals 1 damage to its target for each other beast unit in play. And that means that Realmstalker would deal 1 damage for having a lion, because a lion is a beast and a beast is in play. On a blue die, Realmstalker deals 2 damage to each opponent on a stone hex, so it's a good thing that he didn't hit because he would have just killed my tactician outright, my strategist. And then on a yellow hit, players may displace Realmstalker up to 3 hexes, but for each hex displaced, Realmstalker gains an HP, which is also something kind of terrifying. So the good news is that Realmstalker actually can't do anything to me because this says Realmstalker deals 1 damage to its target for each other unit that's a beast in play. So right now the strategist is Realmstalker's mark. That's who Realmstalker is moving towards. But I'm not currently Realmstalker's target because Realmstalker isn't in range. Realmstalker has a range. This Immortal only has a range of 1. And so I can't actually be targeted for an attack right now by this unit. So basically nothing's going to happen, but something really bad could with this lion also out on the board. So we probably want to keep an eye on that. Now, however, nothing's happened just yet, so it is to me. It is my turn, and what we're going to do is we are going to do the first step of my turn, which is check the stone hexes. And to my delight, my strategist is sitting here on a stone hex, so she causes my Immortal to lose 1 health chip, because that's one of the ways that you damage an Immortal. So Realmstalker took a hit. I'm hoping that we can keep the strategist alive long enough to do 2, but I'm not really sure that that's possible. So what we're going to do now is deploy somebody else, because it's our deployment part of the turn. So who would I like to deploy? What would be smart? The other thing is I do need to start getting crowd favor going because I need to get here to activate my primary hero. My hero's just going to sit here useless and do nothing until I can activate her. I need to keep going also because if I play tactics, then I can return them to my camp if I get them back by going up the crowd favor track. And then I can also return 2 dead units to my camp if I get high enough. And then, of course, if I reach the top, I get an extra special hero. So I'm going to want to do that. And to do that, I need to, like, damage Realm Stalker, but obviously in a, you know, kind of indirect way. I'd like to get my Beast and Beastmaster out, but maybe not yet because I don't feel like that's tactically the right thing right now. Maybe a Marksman. I like Marksman because they can shoot from a distance, and that is very useful in this particular situation. So the question is, do I want to put my Marksman here, or do I want to put my Marksman over here? I think we're going to do over here and shoot at the lion because the Marksman comes in with a special ability called Long Shot 4. So I can at least roll a die to see if I can hit this guy on my turn. So let's go ahead and deploy my Marksman. Get 2 HP, so I'm deploying my little weaklings right now. But that's okay. They're going to hold their own. We'll see how they do. So now I've got a Marksman out. My Marksman has first strike, which means that they, even during their deployment turn, are able to hit someone. And they also have a special called Long Shot, which I could use in place of a normal attack. So now we're going to go through the full steps. So I've placed my Marksman. Very good. And now I'm in the tactical step of my turn. I didn't want to use a tactic last time because that didn't really make any sense. So let's see what I've got as my options. So I have 4 tactics available. I've got Bolster Health, so I can give 2 HP to a unit. I can use Hamstring, which means the unit cannot attack on a turn that it uses its movement. Very nice. I've got Adrenaline, which this gives a unit +1 movement. And I've also got Poised. This unit is no longer dazed. So basically I could just have somebody not be dazed either from coming into the arena and just have them go right away, or from an effect that an enemy has. So I don't really know that I want to use any of these right now. Hamstring is great, except that I don't actually want to hamstring this lion. I want it to kind of come our way because we need to kill it. So I don't want to have it where we have to keep going this way and all of our guys are deploying down here in order to deal with enemies. I want them to come to me a little bit before I use Hamstring. Bolster Health, I'll use another time. Not ready for it. Poised, no, don't need it. And then Adrenaline's cool, but there's no one that I'm investing a permanent tactic in right now. No, thank you. So these will all wait. But that was the tactic step of the turn. Now we get to do movement. So my Marksman cannot move because he's still technically dazed. He just came into the arena. My Strategist can move, and the question is, should she? Well, the thing is that to give her the best chance to survive, I'm going to move her. So let's go here. We're going to move her right here. And we're doing that because she has basically 0 chance of surviving the turn on this one, but maybe she can make it here. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. So she's moved. And now we're in the part of the turn where you can use abilities. So if you have something that says A next to it, that stands for ability, you can use it on this turn before you do the engage part where you normally just do an attack. But nobody has an ability that is like that. We have innate abilities, and then the Marksman has a special, which is marked with an S on the chip, but that's something that I use in place of an attack during the engage step, not an ability proper. So we're not going to use an ability on the ability step, but we are going to engage. So the Strategist cannot currently engage anyone because she has a range of 1, so she's just going to hang out here. And maybe that was a mistake. Like, maybe I should have moved her here so I could hit Realm Stalker for some crowd favor. You know, there are a number of options that I could have taken that I chose not to. But, you know, as Ricky Royal said in his video, when his people just got slammed, you live and you learn. So the Marksman, again, can't move, but he can engage. So he's got first strike. That means that you can attack even on your deployment turn. And he's also got this thing called Long Shot 4. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. The lion is in range. So I'm gonna roll 1 yellow die. And like the odds of hitting are pretty low. This is the crappiest die. We're gonna roll and see if we can just take an HP off of that lion. And so we have. We rolled a hit. Yes. And the lion takes 1 damage. I should have put blue chips on the lion, but we'll just live with it for now. We know the lion's bad. Come on. So that was our turn. We did everything that we could do. All right, so now we're on the arena's turn. We've gone. And that means that the lion's going to do stuff, but first we can deploy one more arena unit. So we're going to draw from the bag. And then this time we got another beast, which is terrifying given that Realm Stalker is the current immortal. It's a boar. And this boar is super dangerous and has regen, which is terrifying. So we're going to give this guy 3 HP. And I'm going to assume that we would deploy him here because it makes sense. Like, we're nearest the main target. The boar isn't going to do anything at all this turn because it doesn't have any abilities that let it do so. So it's just going to hang out until the next arena turn. But then it's going to come from my strategist, and that's a little frightening. So the boar has come in. It's dazed. It's not going to do anything yet. Now the lion, however, has a chance to move, and it's going to move straight towards my strategist because, again, the priority for this arena is somebody on one of these raised hexes, then the hero, then the strongest unit. So the lion is going to move right for her, but it can't reach her, which is why I moved her this time. I was hoping that maybe she would just survive one more turn. But we're going to have to find out because now it's Realm Stalker's turn. So Realm Stalker can move at last. Now he's right next to her. The panther looms over my poor strategist who boldly ran out to do some damage for the team and now is probably about to get bit. So Realm Stalker has combat lock as well, so she can no longer move away from him. They're locked in a combat unto the death because that's what happens. So Realm Stalker has 3 dice to roll. Green, blue, yellow. And we're going to see how it does. Oh, that was bad. Okay, so Realm Stalker basically just outright killed my strategist. No questions with these 2 hits. So my strategist has died. Thank you for your service, brave strategist. We loved you. So she's now going to be out. So I've just got her kind of off in my little graveyard over here. So that sucks. But also Realm Stalker would have destroyed her anyway because with a hit on this green, he deals 1 damage to the target for each other beast unit in play. So that was tough. That was really, really tough. So Realm Stalker and the lion also kind of are up on these spaces. We're going to have to figure out what we want to do about that. But we can figure out what we want to do because it's our turn. Woohoo! So, actually I know exactly what I'm going to do. And this is perhaps not the best advice. I really should be trying to get crowd favor because, you know, I have to go hit Realm Stalker in order to do that, but it doesn't do any damage to him. So, like, ugh. Maybe I want to take out this lion instead. And I think I have a plan to try to do that. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to play my other strategist. And I don't want to lose both of them, but it is what it is. We're going to play him. So we've got the strategist out, right? And the strategist can move on the first turn, even if it can't attack. And it also has an ability called Inspire. So what Inspire allows you to do is allies adjacent to this unit add an extra die to their attacks. And it is a blue die, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good die. So I want to move next to my archer to maybe boost my archer's attack skills and see if we can take this lion out. So that's what we're going to do. My archer has a range of 2 and can move 2. So I think our best bet... The other question is, do I want to use a tactic before I do any of this? No, I'm hanging on to my tactics. I really like tactics. The problem is that the strategist is the best bet to do this to, you know, somebody other in another spot on the arena other than adjacent. But I don't really want to hamstring one of these beasts. Like, it's just not worth it. I would wait for like a hippo or something maybe. So we're going to skip the tactic step. We're going to go into movement. So my marksman can move 2. Let's go 1, 2. And then my strategist is able to move 3, but she's just going to go 1, 2. So she can't attack on her own, but she can inspire the marksman because she's next to him. All right, so we don't have any abilities to use in the ability turn, but we can engage because the marksman has a range of 2, and we're going to take a shot at this lion. So on the marksman's chip, there's 1 black die and 1 yellow. So we're going to bring those out. But because the marksman is next to a strategist, we can also fire with an extra blue. So if we hit on all of them, the lion will die. Otherwise, the lion's going to come and hit us. So let's take a risk here, shall we? All right, so unfortunately, we only got him for 2. That's rough for us. We're going to lose a bunch of dudes. But it's something at least. So the lion is down to 1 health. But that was the best that we could do for this turn, which, yikes. Okay, so now the arena gets a turn. It's not going to deploy anything new because it's got 2 units out. So the deployment stuff gets skipped. We're going to do movement. So the boar, kind of Realmstalker's a little bit in the way. So the boar's just going to come to, I think, like this, towards our people. Okay, so the boar is moved, and, you know, that's its turn. The lion, on the other hand, is going to be able to have a movement of up to 2. It's going to come get in the marksman's way. Let's put it here. So now we are locked into combat. And the lion rolls a green and a yellow. So basically, if the lion hits us, it's gonna hurt. Oh, but it didn't. The marksman lives to fight another round. So the lion moved, but did not actually manage to get us. And thank goodness for that. Because now it's Realmstalker's turn, and he's gonna come and try to hit this marksman. So Realmstalker's gonna move. He's gonna be able to engage with us here. So he has a green die, a blue die, a yellow die, and let's see what he's going to hit with. Ooh, only 1. And fortunately, nobody was on a stone hex this time, because when you hit it on a blue, Realmstalker deals 2 damage to each opponent on a stone hex. So that actually did not happen this time. We made it, everyone. Shocking. Okay, so the dice, you know, sometimes they're with us and sometimes they're not in a game like Hoplo. Woohoo! Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. Let's go ahead and it's our turn. We're going to deploy. Who do we want to deploy? I would like to deploy a warrior. They're strong, and they have some good attacking power, so that's nice. So we've got a warrior out. Let's put them here. We need to consider deploying a tactic. All right, so I do want to use a tactic this time. Let's use bolster health, and I'm going to use it to add 2 HP to my warrior just to make him a little stronger, a little tougher, because he's going to have to get into close range to hit people, and I want him to get in a lot of hits. So he can't move, he can't do anything. He's got his little dazedness coming into the arena. So now we have to figure out what we're going to do with our units over here. So I think let's move her here because I like having my strategist around. So the strategist is now going to one-shot this lion because the strategist rolls 1 die, but it's the best die in the game. It's this red die. And the fun thing about the red die is that every side is a hit. So you don't actually even have to roll it, but we will just to get a satisfying hit against the lion. Take that lion. So the lion is out. And we're just going to put him back in the draw bag because that's what happens when you defeat an arena unit. But the other thing that this does for us is it takes a health chip off of Realmstalker. So that is crucial because Realmstalker started with 6 health and we've got him down to 4. So we've just got to keep going to try to defeat him. Now we also have our marksman. And the marksman is going to attack Realmstalker, but can't actually damage him. Instead, what we're doing is we're trying to go for crowd favor. So for every damage we do to Realmstalker, because we can't actually take it off of him in chips, we're going to get in crowd favor. We get to activate our hero. That'd be really nice. So we're going to do a blue, a black, and a yellow because of the glories of our strategist being there. And we actually hit for 2. Not hitting on a black die, how could we? So instead of taking 2 off of Realmstalker, we're going to get 1, 2 crowd favor. And that means we're 3 away from activating our primary hero. So, you know, it's not the best in the world because we know that our marksman's about to die. But it's, you know, we do what we could do. Now it's the arena turn, and because there are fewer than 2 units that are arena units out, we're going to draw 1. So let's see what we get this time. Ooh, this time we have a Scofflaw. So she's going to get 3 HP, and she is an archer, so we have to watch out. Let's assume, actually, that she would probably come here and go for the strongest unit, because it's in line with what the AI would do. And she gets long shot 5, so she can't move because she's just deployed, but she could come at us. So we're going to roll 1 yellow die and just see if she hits my warrior a little bit. Phew, okay, a miss. So she doesn't get him. No damage yet. But she's waiting to shoot. Oh no. Okay, so now it's going to be movement. So the priority is always unit on hex, hero, and then strongest. So the boar is actually going to move back this way. It can't decide who it wants to attack. But the warrior looks pretty strong, so the boar is going to charge this way. And then that was the arena turn. Now it's the immortal's turn. Realmstalker is not going to move away from somebody he can kill. We're already kind of in combat. So we are going to have him attack the marksman, unfortunately. Okay, so let's roll. Let's hope for the best, but it doesn't look good. And indeed, it did not look good. R.I.P. Marksman, you were brave and strong. But the good news is that it means that Realmstalker has done his turn. He wasn't going to move, so now he's engaged, and that's done. So it's back to us. Let's think about what we might like to do. So let's get somebody interesting out, maybe. Let's bring out a defender because they have a nice chunky amount of HP. Let's bring out our Laquearius, who will get an extra die if we get him up next to our strategist. So let's do that. Let's try to get these two together. I think is the best option, especially as Realmstalker decides which way to go. You know, we'll kind of have to think about that. But right now, my Laquearius is dazed because he's just come into the arena. But he has two abilities. One is taunt, so that basically means that if an enemy has a choice between who to attack, it's going to attack the Laquearius over the neighbor. So what I'm going to do is kind of tuck the strategist up next to him to go mess with Realmstalker. And then I'm going to send my warrior over here to deal with these guys. I think that might be a good choice. Because my warrior is pretty strong on his own, and he's got some HP buff to help. So he's out. What do I want to do with my strategist? I think I'm going to move her here so that they can kind of start their friendship, and I can have them near each other, so it's easy to plot that out. The warrior, I'm going to move for 2. We're going to go right here. And we're just going to go right at this boar and hope for the best. Okay, so for abilities, we have nothing to use in the ability turn. The warrior is going to attack the boar, however. So I have a black die, a blue die, and a yellow die coming into play to go at this boar. And, oh my gosh, we got 3 hits. So the boar is done. We killed it, yes. So these health will go back to the box. The chip goes back to the bag. And Realmstalker loses another HP. So it's another one gone. Excellent for us. So Realmstalker's got 3 HP left. We got to kind of keep figuring out how to do this here. So the warrior has done his thing, and it was a good thing indeed. And now, unfortunately, it's the arena turn. So the arena is going to put somebody new out. So we'll see who it is. All right, so this time we've got a bandit. And a bandit is a defender with 5 HP. And they're going to come out just kind of dazed, but they have taunt. They also have regen, which means that they're going to keep regenerating their health. So we need to be hitting them for more than 1 per turn if we want to ever get rid of this thing. So we're going to put him here. Let's say that he wants to kind of interfere with our strategist and our Laquearius and their attempts to go at Realmstalker. So I think that makes sense. And then our Scofflaw is going to attack our warrior. So she's currently 3 away, but she can just move 1 and put herself in range to shoot at him. So she gets a black die and a blue. And let's see how nasty the hits are. Oh, she got it for 2. All right, so that was our tactic gone. But hey, you know what? It's something. Okay, so the arena has gone. It's now the Immortal's turn. And Realmstalker is going to go for the strongest, who is now the Laquearius and not the warrior, because the warrior lost some HP. So Realmstalker is going to go here. And now we're both just kind of locked into combat with him, and it is what it is. So he's going to attack the Laquearius, and hopefully it's not too bad, but you just never know. All right, so he's going to hit the Laquearius for 2. And then we're going to talk about his dice activation. So this actually works out okay. Realmstalker then deals 1 damage to his target for each other beast unit in play. There aren't any because we killed them all, thankfully, because otherwise we would have done even more damage to our Laquearius, which did not happen. Then he would deal 2 damage to each opponent on Stone Hex. There's nobody there right now, thank goodness, because otherwise we would have taken another 2 damage. And then if we got a hit on the yellow, we could have chosen to displace him, but we're not actually going to do that. So Realm Stalker did some damage, but we're all still alive. So now that we're on our turn, my warrior has a decision to make. Are we going to come and attack the Scofflaw, or are we going to try to get up onto this stone to do some damage to Realm Stalker and use it to get crowd favor? I think since Realm Stalker is going to take hits from our guys over here, we're going to use the warrior. We're going to put him here for some flexibility in the future, but we're going to attack the Scofflaw. These two can't move because they're combat locked with Realm Stalker right now. So let's handle all of our attacks really quick. So the Laquarius is going to attack Realm Stalker using a green and also a blue because he's next to the strategist who has Inspire. So the green is from the chip. The blue is granted by the strategist ability. So we got one hit on Realm Stalker for one more crowd favor. Oh, we could get a little more. That'd be really nice. And then the strategist, who rolls a red die, woohoo, can automatically hit him for 1. So we're almost to the point where we can activate our hero, but we're not quite there. Now the warrior is going to attack the Scofflaw. So let's pull our dice. We have a blue, a black, a yellow. I don't know how lucky we're going to be with this because we were so lucky in the last roll, but one can dream. Okay, so we didn't quite kill the Scofflaw, but we took her out for 2. So next turn, probably my warrior will kill her. And that's good. Okay, so now it's the arena's turn because we've gone. The bandit is going to come just this way. He would normally attack the strongest, but he can't. So he's just next to my strategist, and so that's who he's going to go for. So he does hit my strategist for 1. Hopefully she will live a little longer. All right, and then the Scofflaw is just going to attack the warrior. She's in attack range, and she'll do that. So she's going to roll a black and a blue. Hopefully not leave my warrior too black and blue, but we'll find out. All right, so she hit him for 1. Could be worse. And now it's back to Realm Stalker because it's his turn. So Realm Stalker is again going to attack the Laquarius with a green, with a blue, and with a yellow. And actually a no-hitter. Laquarius looked at the panther, managed to dodge the claws, made it. Ooh, that was dramatic, actually. Oh, okay. So it's my turn. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have my warrior attack the Scofflaw because that just seems obvious. But wait, yeah, nobody's going to move. Everybody's just going to stay where they are. The warrior should just kill off the Scofflaw, and then these two should stay where they are and deal with... They're just going to have to keep hitting Realm Stalker, is the facts. We're a little bit stuck right now with this bandit. That's tough. But, you know, that's how it turns out. Okay, so the warrior will attack the Scofflaw with black, blue, yellow. Come on, just 1 hit. Excellent, 2 hits. So the Scofflaw is now dead. She goes back in the bag. And that's another chip off of Realm Stalker. So Realm Stalker's down to 2 health, but this is a tough fight, as y'all can see. Like, I'm losing a lot of people. I'm going to need to work on my crowd favor in order to get them back at some point in a future round. I haven't even activated my hero. Like, I'm sure there are people who are better at that than me, and we'll deal with it. So these guys now get to attack, though. So our Laquarius is going to hit with a green from his chip and a blue from his inspiration from the strategist. And, yes, we got Realm Stalker for 2. So that means... for this next turn, we can activate our hero, and we're going to get her out because somebody's no doubt going to die this turn. Maybe 2. So we've started to climb the crowd favor track, which is really nice. And the strategist, I think, is just going to attack the bandit for 1 because we got to start whittling away at him. And she's going to die most likely at his hands, but she's going to get a hit in first. And again, I didn't bother to roll a die because the red one is always a hit, so we're just alighting that out. Okay, so we've done our turn. It's the arena turn. We're going to get somebody new out. And it is the return of the Scofflaw, which I don't love. Let's say that she's going to go here, because she gets first strike. So I can see why you would put her there. So she'll start with 3 health. And she's going to get to fire an arrow because she gets first strike. Even though she can't move, she can fire at my warrior. All right, so there's going to be a black and a blue. Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Ooh, okay, so she hit him for 1. He's down to 1 HP. But he's doing his best. The bandit's going to attack with his 1 black die. And yes, my strategist has died. How unfortunate. You were brave, strategist. Now Realm Stalker is going to get a turn because it's the immortal turn. So the Laquarius is not looking like they're going to be in great shape. Hey, you know, maybe they'll live. Oof. Okay. All right. So only 1 hit. And then on a blue, Realm Stalker deals 2 damage to each opponent on a stone hex, which is no one. So my Laquarius lives to kind of keep getting us some crowd favor over here. And now it's back to us. So let's go ahead and deploy Tempestia, our awesome hero. She's got 7 health, which she's going to freaking need in this battle. All right, so she's got 7 health. And let's think about where to put her. Let's go with here. So we can maybe start messing around with these stone hexes and force Realm Stalker to come back this way after he deals with Laquarius. So we're kind of like got everybody trapped over here. So we can buy ourselves a little time. So she has Retaliate, Deflect. So what Deflect does is it means that this unit cannot be targeted by attacks if it's already been dealt damage from an attack this turn, which means that which means that you can't just surround her and wail on her. She has some like special abilities in that regard. She also has Hook, which Laquarius also has. So you can choose a unit exactly 2 hexes away and displace it by 1 hex so it's adjacent to you, which we haven't had to do, but if you want to kind of do a get over here, then the Hook is the right ability for that. So Tempestia is dazed. She's not going to go anywhere. What do we want to do with our warrior? So we can either come over here and hope that we kill off the Scofflaw, or we can come here and try for a stone hex damage to Realm Stalker. Either way, the Scofflaw is probably going to kill him. So I think we're going to go here so we can at least attack her rather than have her just pick us off from over here. So we're going to have our blue, black, and yellow dice. And at least we got in 2 hits, right? Like it's something. All right, so then the Laquarius is going to hit with a green die. No more blue inspiration from our lovely strategist, but we did hit the hit Realm Stalker for 1. So we're moving towards return tactics to your camp. If we can get that, that'd actually be pretty cool because we can get our health booster back. Now it is the arena's turn. Okay, so I did look up the rules. And the Scofflaw would move. So the Scofflaw would move away as far as possible within range. So it's kind of like a weird off sentence here in the rules. So basically for movement, it says if a rival unit's mark is already within range, the unit does not move. Otherwise, the rival unit will move to hex that is as far from its mark as possible while still within range. So I just kind of missed that otherwise and blipped over it. But we got it right this time. So the Scofflaw moves away and then is still going to shoot. So she's got a black and a blue. And we'll hit our warrior for 1. So thanks, warrior. You were great. You will be missed. And also, we're running low on people and it's only round 1. Oh, no. And then the bandit is actually going to... I should have moved everybody at once, by the way. The bandit will move in and attack our Laquarius with this 1 die. With 1 hit. So our Laquarius is in trouble as well. Whew, okay. Alright. Now it's Realm Stalker's turn. Realm Stalker's going to go roll 3 dice against my poor little Laquarius. That's tough. And does do the 1 hit required to kill him. So... as you can see, like, we're just in round 1 of Onslaught mode, and, like, maybe I've played dumb, right? But, like, we've lost 5 guys. To get 2 of them back, we need to get up to here on our crowd favor. So this is, like, very challenging. All right, so I think what I'm going to do... Ooh. have some ideas because it's back to my turn, but I got to figure out what I want, how I want to handle this. All right, I think what I want to do is let's put in another marksman with 2 HP. We're going to put the marksman right here. And the reason we're going to do that is to kind of force these enemies to move this way a little bit. We're going to try and make it harder for them to hurt us. So it's our turn. My marksman does, however, have long shot 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can just see if I can get a random hit in on Realmstalker. The other question is, do we want to move Tempestia? And I think the answer is yes. Because we're pretty close to being able to kill Realmstalker if I can just kind of get her on here and then kill off one of the other enemies. So this is actually probably a good idea. So I think that works. Now the marksman is going to just take a little pot shot. And he missed, but you know, it was worth a try. So now it's the arena turn. The bandit's going to move 2 towards the strongest. So it's just going to come for me here. And then my scofflaw here also wants to move 2 towards me to get into range to shoot. So she's going to try to hit me with a black and a blue. Did get me for 1. Too bad she's down to range or I could retaliate. That'd be delicious, but alas. So that's actually their turn. Realmstalker can also only move 2, so he's going to kind of come my way, but he can't get me yet. Not yet. So now it's my turn. Let's deploy Depth Charger. Because he's got 3 health, which is pretty good. And he's got the Tactician ability. I'm pretty sure this is the same as Tactical, and this is like a leftover from ancient times. And he's got regen. So I can just maybe park him here and start trying to regenerate him, which seems like a cool idea. So he can just go ahead and move. And that's definitely what I'm going to want. Okay, so this is my turn. We've done our deployment. Let's put Depth Charger go 1, 2, 3. Tempestia is going to come here. And the marksman's just going to come and just kind of leave us in range of Realmstalker. That way we can either take a long shot at the Scofflaw or try to get some crowd favor off of Realmstalker. But I think what I want to do actually is just take the pot shot. So, okay, now it's everybody's turn to go. Depth Charger can't attack. Tempestia can't attack. This one, he just can't because he is technically dazed. He just has tactical, so he can move, but can't attack. And then Tempestia can't because she's not in range of anybody. And then the marksman can. So the question is, who do we want to go at? Oh, yes, the Scofflaw is dead. So that'll put her back in the bag. And then that'll also take a life off of Realmstalker, who's down to 1. So we're getting there on this. But the thing is, in Onslaught mode, you're trying to beat as many immortals as possible, and I took some serious bleeding on this. This has been rough. So, we'll kind of see how that turns out with the next immortal. Or we won't, actually, because I'm going to just show you setup for wave 2 and stop here. But that's okay. So now it's the arena turn. The bandit is going to just end up attacking Depth Charger, but I also have to bring somebody out. So we're going to deploy. Oh god, it's a hippopotamus. That is scary. Actually, you know, I'm pretty sure I've read stories about ancient monks killing hippopotami as a sign of their godly power because they were so dangerous in the Nile River. Like, don't mess with hippos. Do not do it. They'll wreck you, even though they're cute. Alright, so this hippo comes in, is dazed. Hopefully we can end this before the hippo can do anything. The bandit's going to hit Depth Charger for 1. And just stay where it is. And then now it's Realmstalker's turn. So Realmstalker is going to go for Tempestia because she is both on a crowd favor spot and the strongest. So he's going to come for her with 1, 2, 3 dice. This is very dangerous. Very. Because there's a lot of ways he can hurt her. But we came out of this okay. So we got her for 1 just from the attack dice. And also, Realmstalker does 1 damage to a target for each other beast unit in play. So that's the hippo. So we hit her for 2. It's pretty bad, and we'll talk about why, but it is what it is. Because now it's my turn. We've got 2 people on these spaces, and Realmstalker is defeated. Boom. So that's the end of wave 1, but it cost us very dearly. So we have an immortal trophy, and I'm going to show you how to reset for the next round so that you can play your own Onslaught and hopefully play a lot better than me, because yikes. Alright, so here's what's going to happen. We got our Immortal Trophy. You place the defeated Immortal face up to the side as a reminder that you defeated them. Haha. Player cleanup. So any tactics chips would be discarded, but we don't have any out because I didn't think we were going to get any back, and I was right. But then what's going to happen is our hero goes back, but the problem is that poor Tempesta, she's at 4 HP and she doesn't get any back. She just has to stay at this, and if she dies in a future Onslaught, we lose. She's also going to go back to being deactivated, and our crowd favor is going to reset. So we're going to have to activate her again and start this climb again. So if we really want to get up here and get Spikulous, we're going to have to seriously wail on the Immortal and just accept the consequences of that, which, oof. Our units that are in play, these guys are just going to go right back, and they can be deployed later with full HP, so everything's fine for them. They'll fight another day. The arena units will also just go back in the bag, and they're going to fight another day. One thing that's going to be tough for me, though, is that my discarded units and tactics, so I lost like half my guys. That was tough. And this tactic, these are all going to kind of stay out of the game until I get enough crowd favor to get something back. So I'm starting weaker than I was before for wave 2. And then we would draw another Immortal and we would just start again. So here we would have Telegonus, who is agile and has some nasty, nasty dice. In fact, what's really nasty is that Telegonus defeats any one opponent that is on or adjacent to a stone hex on a blue roll. And then each arena unit that moves to one of the available blue... And then on a yellow, each arena unit moves to one of the available blue deployment hexes if possible. So they can just force you to move to other sides of the board. So this is a nasty, nasty, nasty little Immortal. Nuba is probably the easiest one because she doesn't have any special abilities. She just rolls a lot. But these other ones are super tough. And you don't really know what order you're going to draw them in. So good luck if you play this. Expect some carnage, but it is definitely really, really good fun. So it was only wave 1. I would, of course, keep going until I died. Probably in wave 2. Maybe I'd make it to wave 3. I think the best I've ever done is get to wave 4. And I don't do that very often, to be very honest. So this is the Hoplomachus Onslaught solo mode. I really enjoy it. I hope that you will too. And I hope that you fare better than I, both in terms of your tactical ability and your die rolls. But even if you don't, you're going to have a good time. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Maybe support me on Patreon if you're feeling generous. And most of all, happy gaming.